Alright YouTube, so big Star Wars news dropped. Kenobi Season 2 has been greenlit, and you guys know I love Star Wars, and whenever Star Wars big news comes out, I make vlogs on it. So that's why, as Obi-Wan Kenobi said, that's why I'm here. We'll talk about some things I'm hoping to see from this second season. I hope it's even better than Season 1, because I think Season 1 got kind of mixed, but mostly positive, but still some criticisms of it, which some I actually did agree with. Like, for example, the Inquisitor, I think his design could have been a little more complete and a little more elaborate like it was in Revenge of the Sith, because they're the same species, but you know, not the end of the world. But with that being said, I do hope they pay maybe a little more attention to details such as that to make it look more visually appealing and, you know, bring back what made Star Wars so great, which was a lot of what Kenobi showed, to be honest. But I think, you know, some of the makeup, prosthetics, and practical effects could be even better. So, you know, no hate for Obi-Wan Season 1, but Obi-Wan Season 2 has potential to be the Empire Strikes Back of the original trilogy of Star Wars series. Beating Season 2 could be even better than Season 1, but a lot of these Star Wars series, I've heard the second season isn't as good. So, but something I'm on the fence about is Obi-Wan versus Anakin Part 2, because I feel like, to be honest, that finale was just incredible. Even to this day, 3 years later, I'm still out of breath at how amazing that finale was. But I feel like, you know, seeing it again may sort of cheapen it. So kind of on the fence, and, you know, I already said I'm on the fence, but I hope we see new villains, maybe some villains from the comics that I've never heard of, but that I want to go back and will make me want to read Star Wars Extended Universe and Star Wars literature. Another thing I really want to see in this series, this above all, is a little bit of flashbacks to in between episodes 1 and 2. I mentioned that how in the Lost Star Wars sequel series that, or whatever Lost Star Wars series created by George Lucas, I'm blanking on exactly what it was called, but something I did want to see from Star Wars was what happened in between episodes 1 and 2 a little more. I'm sure there is plenty of Clone Wars about that, but, you know, Clone Wars is primarily between 2 and 3, so, you know, I don't want this series to be granted in between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, but I do want to know what more about, like, you know, Obi-Wan's trial when he killed Darth Maul, because, you know, he almost, I believe in some Star Wars universe, almost lost his Jedi title because he killed. And something I also definitely want to see is Obi-Wan's parents, because I thought about it, like, you know, Jedi are like, you know, they're just, you know, they're not celibate, they're able to reproduce, they're just not able to hold attachment. So Obi-Wan definitely has legitimate parents, and I want to hear more about them, because I believe I did hear it was mentioned in the Clone Wars briefly, but we don't hear a terrible lot about it. I know Qui-Gon's probably more his father figure, which Qui-Gon is another thing I want to see in this series, especially with the Force Ghost attribute, because that was such an incredible ending to Kenobi when we saw Qui-Gon, even though it was kind of expected. But Qui-Gon definitely should have a major role in Season 2, if you ask me, while Darth Vader maybe a little less, but still include him, of course. So in conclusion, I want this vlog to be, I mean this series, Season 2, to be everything that was great about Season 1, maybe a little more attentiveness to practical details such as the Inquisitor or other characters, just make them look top-notch. Not a big deal if they don't, not crying, but also, you know, some information on what happened between 1 and 2, or more information rather, I should say, and definitely include Qui-Gon, include Darth Vader, but maybe a little less, and introduce new characters from the extended universe and make them canon. So until then, I cannot wait for Season 2, but probably before then, Ahsoka Season 2 will come out, which I'm watching Ahsoka Season 1 and loving it. So until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more soon. May the Force be with you. Goodbye.